Hey, it's Joe with Humanfluence, here to talk about truth. But what is truth? We know it's not a simple answer, not a one-size-fits-all kind of thing. Truth is personal, it's raw, it's unfiltered. It's the deep, unshakable knowing that resonates within you, even when the world tries to tell you otherwise. It's the core of who you are, stripped of pretense, free from the expectations and illusions that cloud your vision. Truth is the bedrock of your being, the foundation upon which everything else is built. It's not always comfortable, it's not always easy to accept, but it's real, it's undeniable, and once you find it, it's impossible to ignore. It's the little moments, the ones that seem insignificant at the time, that often lead you to your truth. You know, those quiet, almost forgettable instances where something deep inside stirs. Just a flicker at first, barely noticeable. It's like standing at a crossroads, only you don't even realize you're at one until much later. But in that moment, something shifts. Something changes and a seed is planted. It might start with a conversation, maybe with a friend, a stranger, or even just in your own head. You're talking about life, about what you want, about what you're doing, and suddenly there's this pause, this strange silence that hangs in the air. It's like the universe holds its breath for just a second, waiting to see if you'll notice, if you'll catch the subtle hint it's throwing your way. And maybe you do, maybe you don't, but that moment sticks with you, it lingers. Or it's that feeling you get when you're alone late at night, staring at the ceiling, wondering why you feel so restless, so out of place. You start asking yourself those questions you've been avoiding for a long time. Is this it? Is this all there is? And those questions, they start to echo, bouncing around in your mind, refusing to be ignored. You can't shake them off no matter how hard you try. And then there are those moments of frustration when you're doing something you've done 1,000 times before, but suddenly it feels different. It feels wrong, like you're forcing yourself into a role that doesn't fit anymore. You can't quite put your finger on it, but you know something's not right. You're out of sync, out of alignment with yourself. And maybe it's a moment of clarity, a fleeting instant where everything falls away, and you catch a glimpse of something real, something true. It could be while you're in nature, surrounded by silence, or in the middle of a crowded room when everything else fades into the background, and you suddenly see yourself. Really see yourself for the first time. It's brief, like a flash of lightning, but it's enough to leave an imprint. These moments, they add up. They accumulate. Like blows hammering steel into shape. Like embers gathering heat before they ignite into a roaring fire. Like stones stacked to build an unbreakable wall. Or like gears locking into place, powering the machine of your destiny. You don't realize it's happening until one day you look back and you see the path you've been on, the journey you've been taking without even knowing it. You see how each of these moments, those small, seemingly inconsequential moments, were leading you to something bigger, something deeper, something true. And then it hits you. That's what your truth is. It's not some grand revelation that strikes out of nowhere. It's the sum of all those moments, all those questions, all those feelings that you've been carrying with you. It's the realization that the truth isn't something you find. It's something that finds you. Something that's been with you all along, waiting for you to notice. So when you finally reach that point, when all those moments come together and you see your truth for what it is, it's like coming full circle. It's like finally understanding why you felt the way you felt, why you've questioned the things you've questioned. It's not an end, it's a beginning. It's the start of living your truth, of stepping into who you really are, and letting go of everything that doesn't fit, that doesn't resonate. Living your own truth, it's a battle, a fierce, relentless fight, and it's not just some half-hearted hobby you pick up when it's convenient. Living your truth is a full-time, all-consuming commitment to authenticity, an audacious act of defiance against a world that wants to box you in, bottle you up, and break you down. It's about digging deep, diving into the depths of your soul and discovering who you really are, not who you've been told to be, not who you think you should be, but who you truly are at your core. It's about standing firm, standing tall, and standing proud in the face of all the noise, the naysayers, and the negativity that tries to knock you off your path. And let me tell you, it's a journey full of jagged edges and joyous epiphanies. There's no map, no manual, no magic formula to follow. It's a winding road, often lonely, often misunderstood, but always, always worth it. Because when you live your truth, you tap into a power, a passion, a purpose that's bigger than you, bigger than any box anyone's ever tried to put you in. You become a force, a fire, a flame that refuses to be extinguished. But here's the catch. Living your truth requires relentless, radical honesty. You have to confront your fears, face your failures, and own your flaws. You have to peel back the layers, the lies, the limitations that have been placed on you by society, by others, and by yourself. And that's not easy. It's not glamorous, it's gritty, it's gut-wrenching, it's grinding. But it's also glorious, because on the other side of that struggle is freedom. True freedom. The kind of freedom that comes from knowing yourself, loving yourself, and living for yourself. Not in a selfish way, but in a self-full way. A way that allows you to give, to grow, and to glow in a way that's uniquely, unmistakably you. And don't think for a second that this journey is without sacrifice. You'll have to let go of a lot. People, places, patterns that no longer serve you, that no longer align with your truth. It's a process of purging, purifying, and pruning back the dead branches so new growth can flourish. And yes, that hurts. It's hard, it's heavy, but it's necessary. Because living your truth isn't about clinging to what's comfortable or what's convenient. It's about embracing change and welcoming the unknown, and trusting that whatever you lose in the process will be replaced by something better, something brighter, something that's meant for you. And then there's the internal battle, the raging war that takes place in the mind. The clash of competing voices, the tug of war between your deepest desires and your deepest fears. It's a battlefield where your true self is constantly vying for control against the conditioned self, the version of you that's been shaped, molded, and manipulated by the world around you. On one side, you've got your intuition, your inner wisdom, that quiet, steady voice that knows your truth, that whispers to you in moments of stillness, that guides you towards what's real and what's right. And on the other side, there's the noise, the chatter, the ceaseless stream of thoughts, doubts, and distractions that try to drown out that voice, that try to convince you that you're not enough, that you should stay small, stay safe, and stay silent. It's a competition, a constant, relentless struggle between these forces. Your intuition says, go for it. This is who you are. This is what you want. But then the doubt creeps in. That insidious, sneaky little voice that says, who do you think you are? What if you fail? What will they think? It's a battle of belief, a duel of doubt, a fight for the future you want versus the fears that hold you back. And let's be honest, there are days when doubt wins, when fear gets the upper hand, when you feel like you're losing. Those are the days when the competing voices in your head are the loudest, the most convincing, the hardest to ignore. They tell you to play it safe, to stick to what you know, to follow the path that's been laid out for you, even if it's not the path you want. And it's tempting, oh so tempting to listen, to give in, to let those voices dictate your choices, your actions, your life. But here's the thing. They're not you. They're echoes of the past, of other people's expectations, of societal conditioning. They're the ghosts of who you've been told to be, not who you truly are. And in this competition, in this internal struggle, the only way to win is to recognize that. To see them for what they truly are, illusions, distractions, tests of your resolve. And then to choose, consciously, deliberately, and powerfully, to listen to the voice of truth, the voice of your intuition, the voice that knows who you are and what you're capable of. This battle in the mind, it's not about silencing the competing voices because they'll always be there in one form or another. It's about making your truth the loudest voice, the strongest voice, the voice that leads, that guides, that directs your actions. It's about training yourself day in and day out to recognize when fear is talking, when doubt is trying to take control, and then consciously choosing to pivot, to shift, to refocus on your truth. Again, it's not easy. It's a constant practice, a daily discipline, a never-ending process of tuning in, checking in, and realigning. But the more you do it, the stronger that truth becomes. The louder it gets until it drowns out the noise, until it becomes the dominant force in your mind and in your life. And let's not forget the power of presence in this process. When you're living your truth, you're fully present, fully engaged, fully alive in every moment. You're not living in the past, reliving regrets, or worrying about the future, fretting over what might happen. You're here, now, in the thick of it, feeling everything fully. And that presence, that power of being fully alive in the moment, is what connects you even deeper. What keeps you grounded, what guides you when your path gets rocky, when the road gets rough. So when the world tries to shake you, tries to shape you into something you're not, remember this. Your truth is your anchor, your armor, your anthem. It's the drumbeat that keeps you marching forward, the melody that moves your soul, the rhythm that resonates deep within your being. And it's not just about you, it's about the impact you make, the inspiration you ignite, the light you spread when you live authentically, unapologetically, undeniably as you. Living your truth is a revolution, a rebellion, a radical act of self-love and self-expression. And if you're one of those few, if you're ready to step into your truth, to stand in your power, then do it with everything you've got. Do it boldly, bravely, beautifully, because the world needs your light, your truth, your unique, unfiltered, unashamed expression of self. So go on, be the light, be the blazing fire, be the bold statement that you are. Live your truth, love your truth, and let it set you free, because in the end, it's the only thing that will. Humanfluence out.